Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Weichelt Wednesday. This is your host, Robert Weichelt, with another great episode. We're going to dive into some really cool stuff. I've got a very special guest, Angela, today. We're going to talk about a lot of cool things. She's very impressive. So hold on to your seats. We're going to get started. We air these every Wednesday, and we certainly appreciate you tuning in. So, with that said, I'm so excited. I got a really, really cool friend of mine, somebody I very just we just adore her. She's a rock star out there doing a lot of great things. And Angela Filkins. Angela, thank you so much for being our guest today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for asking me on. I'm looking forward to
Absolutely.
this.
Oh, absolutely. Super excited. So let's dive into it. The burning question, who is Angela Filkins?
Well, I am a career real estate agent. I decided very early on, like I remember being 13 years old and somebody who's a celebrity now, but I won't name drop, asked me, "What do you want more than anything in the world?" And I said, "I want to own my own home." It was the most important thing to me even then. And it took me a little while to get around to it. But in 2004, I finally got my real estate license in Florida as a salesperson. And so that started me off on this 21-year journey. In 2007, I moved to Washington State and got my license there. I let my Florida license drop, but 4 years ago, I bought a house in Florida so I could go back and forth, being the goal. And I got my license again. And my son Dalton also has his license, so he's joined Team Mom.
All
And
right.
I just love what I do. Just for me, it's just home ownership is so important. And, knowing what I knew when I was 13 years old, that women weren't allowed to have their own line of credit until 1978, which is when I turned 13, without a man signing for them. It's just so huge that I wanted to promote home ownership for women. I mean, I want everyone to own a home, not just women, but I thought it was so important that everybody be able to have that safety and security of that American dream of home ownership. And I'm so fired up about it even today. I own four homes myself now, and I'm getting ready to buy my fifth.
Woohoo. I love
Yeah.
it. And that's certainly a huge why. What you do. Obviously, you want everybody to enjoy home ownership, but you really have a special place because of a personal experience, and you're doing a lot of great things. You mentioned you're both in Washington and in Florida. Um, that leads me to something we were talking about the other day: taking listings all via Zoom. Agents have a
Yeah.
tendency to go, wait a second, you need to live in your area to take listings in your area. Well, as you know, we're traveling the country in our RV, and we take listing appointments just about all week. And it's a crazy thing. It's a different thing to get your head around. So Angela, you and I had a conversations about Zoom listings. Tell us about your Zoom listings and some of the experiences you're having.
Well, gee, I was in the car with my mom and we were stuck in traffic one day, and I listened to one of your White Out Wednesdays, Take More Listings. And you just happened to say that you were taking listings on Zoom. And I thought, why didn't I ever think of that? You drive an hour to go meet somebody because I live in a rural place. We don't even have a traffic light in Washington. So I'm driving an hour to meet with these people. I'm spending an hour with them, and then I'm driving an hour home. And I thought, well, we could just save so much time, number one. And number two, that really helped me out because when I was traveling, I wasn't taking listings when I was going to Florida for a couple of months. And then I would come back and have to do double time to make up the numbers for what I was doing. And I'm like, Robert's a genius.
Ah,
I'm going to do that too. And unlike you, I don't have a really awesome presentation. I just meet with them, just like I'm meeting with you right now.
yeah.
And I ask them what they want, what they need, what they, visualize as what they would like to happen with their home sale. And we just talk as if I was just sitting right in front of them. I mean, I can email them presentation packets and all of that, but I don't have anything fancy. I don't even put on any makeup.
I love it. You know what? And that right there is the real key. for those ladies that don't want to put on makeup before they go to a listing appointment, they don't have to. You can brush your hair, throw on a hat, and boom, you're ready to go. But I think you hit something very huge. You don't drive an hour to get to a seller to find out that they might be a little bit too ambitious with their sales price goals, or just don't have really any motivation to speak of, but they just want people to give them opinion, agents to give them opinion. Then you drive an hour back. That's 3 hours out of your day when you can do a listing appointment in 3 to 5 minutes. So it's
Yep, you're
efficient.
donating your life, right?
Yeah. It's efficient and effective way to
Mhm.
communicate, get belly to belly, just like we're doing right here, get belly to belly with those sellers. So I'm grateful that you had a chance to. I mean, my goal is always when I do my coaching, training, and mentoring is to agents to be able to pull out a nugget, and that's it warms my heart, and that's why I wanted to at least continue this conversation and talk about that. How's it been going with you? What do you do when you set up? Do you get the listing, the seller that wants to say, I want to sell my home, go. What do you do?
Well, first of all, I set the appointment for the Zoom call and send them the invitation, of course, make sure it works with both of our schedules because when you're bi-coastal like I am, that's a 3 hour difference. Like right now, it's noon for you, but it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon for me.
Yeah,
So if I have to wait until they're off of work at say 5:30, that's 8:30 at night if I'm in Florida, right? So I try to set it up so it works for both of us.
sure.
And too, I do make sure that they know that I travel back and forth. I want to be honest about that.
Oh yeah,
But yeah, the key is knowing and making sure that they know that I have a team in place that can handle the boots on the ground items. But like I'm always telling my people, if I was to call you every time I was doing something for you, you'd tell me to stop blowing up your phone. The real work happens from contract to close. There's a lot of it there in the listing and in the marketing and the advertising, yes. But the negotiations, the contract to close, that's where you need me. You don't need me in your living room. You need me right here and right on my computer because that's
absolutely.
where it's going to happen and over the phone. I can talk to anybody over the phone. I can meet with anybody on the computer. I don't necessarily have to step foot on your property to get it sold and get it done quite efficiently for a high price. I've shown my success records with that, but I do let them know that I do travel back and forth. I just want to be clear about that.
And that's important. An important thing, but more importantly, is you're introducing an efficient and effective way, not only for you, the listing agent, but for the seller. The seller, I get oftentimes when I do all my listings done via Zoom, and oftentimes I'll get people thinking, go, wow, you know what? I've never done a Zoom presentation like this about my home, and I've bought and sold many homes. I like this. Thank you for introducing to this. I mean, it doesn't happen every time, but it happens enough that makes you feel like, okay, well, there is a better way to do things. We all have the same amount of time in our day. So I think that getting plugged into the tools that work, the systems that we have available, be efficient, be effective, be productive, and make things happen. So, Angela, I'm so grateful that you jumped on today. A lot of great stuff. Super impressed, as always. Still super impressed. Uh, let's ask you this one last question before we say goodbye today. What would you like to tell the agents that are tuning into this? What would you like to tell them, whether it's a new agent, an experienced agent? What's your message to agents out there?
I think the biggest piece of advice I would give is you know, if you don't ask, you'll never know. And if you don't try it, you'll never get the experience. So even if you're camera shy, even if you're a little unsure, just bite the bullet, take action. Nothing's going to happen unless you take action. I know you're always saying, and I love this, it works if you do. And you may make mistakes, and that's okay. Learn from your mistakes. People will see you as a human being if like you stutter a little bit or when you're talking to them. It makes you seem more human. They know they're not talking to some AI when those things happen,
But
right?
also, Angela, is when you understand the messaging to who you're calling, whether it's a FISBO, an expired, if you understand what it is they're looking for, that's getting their home sold for the highest and best price in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of liability, hassle, and expense. If you can understand how to conversation around that, you're going to have no problem stuttering, not knowing, but it's confidence because people, they don't
Right.
have the confidence going in. And I hope that, they can get the confidence. If they have any questions, you can certainly reach out to us and we'd be more than happy to walk you through that. Angela, thank you so much for being my guest today. I'm super excited and I look forward to our many, many other opportunities to talk and do transactions together. So, this is Robert Weichelt with another episode of Weichelt Wednesday. I want to thank my special guest, Angela, for just being a rock star, taking
Thank you, Robert, for
advantage.
the inspiration too. You're just so wonderful.
Oh, you know what? I appreciate it. And I'll make sure I get that Venmo over to you right away. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. Angela, thank you so much for being our guest. And remember, guys, it works if you do. Have a great day.